Y'all already know what it is. Jay Williams, Let's Live Life, and we're back. Penitentiary bullies. So you think you just gonna run around and be a bully in prison, huh? Because you big and you strong. Happens every day. I done seen it. Let's relive it. So before we get started, man, I need to get some shout outs, some thank yous for the people that do the cash apps. For y'all that don't know, I linked my cash app, and there's a reason. The money's going towards merchandise. Merchandise and different things. The thing with merchandise is you got to find the right vendor. You can't just get with anybody because these people's prices are so crazy. And I want to be able to give y'all something that's quality, something that's like that, and not for no crazy price. Some of these places, you know, you're talking $40, $50 for a single hoodie, $30 for a t-shirt. I'm looking to do better than that so I can give y'all better prices. But the point in all this is, I like to, salute and shout out all the people that have Cash App money. So let me get started. Thomas Haglock, salute. Denise Pate, salute. Anthony Cole, salute. Zoe Brady, salute. Devin Peters, salute. Monica, salute. Greg Stone, salute. Cactus Jack, salute. Right, salute. La la la, salute. John Gill, salute. And last but not least, Marvelous Lucas. Hey, salute. Thank you guys, man. Coming up on 50K. I can't do this without y'all. My stories are nothing without y'all's ears and y'all's attention. Y'all have gotten us to the point we're at. I'm just reliving it. I love each and every one of y'all. Thank each and every one of y'all. Even the trolls. Because if you're trolling me, you're watching me. Thank you. Seriously. So let's get into it, man. You want to be a bully in prison. I think of prison, I think of a lot of different dudes that was bullies, man, that were just straight savages. Now, let me tell you something about these bullies, man. They work on fear. They live off fear. If they see any type of fear, you are what's fueling their ability to be able to strive. I've seen this time and time again. I've seen small bullies. I've seen big bullies. I've seen short bullies. I've seen tall bullies. White, black, Mexican, you name it, I've seen it. But like I said, they don't exist if you're not afraid of them. So what do? They instill fear in people. I was sitting here thinking about it, and I can think of so many different dudes in prison that try to rule off of that fear factor. And when I thought of them, one name came to my mind, and that was E. Big E. Up Greensville, been there for a couple years. And one thing about it is people come and go. If I get locked up today, and I go to the hole, somebody's coming in there to take my bed from the hole, from another part of prison, from another prison, from reception, whatever. My slot's going to get filled. People go to the hole all the time. You don't really see people go home all the time. That's not an everyday thing. Especially at a place like Greensville where most people there have violent charges. A large majority of the population is serving a life sentence or so much time that they might as well have a life sentence. Two dudes, man, get into it behind something. The one dude gets scared and he goes and checks in. The other dude doesn't go to the hole. So now we got an open bunk. In comes Big E. Big E was the definition of a maniac, a bully, a giant. Big E he wasn't as big as Treetop, but when it come to muscles, Big E looked like, he was born in the penitentiary. You ever seen them guys? You don't have to second guess. Has that guy been locked up before? You can just look at him and it looks like he got out 15 minutes ago. That was Big E. Big E looked like, he got locked up when he was 3 and had been lifting weights ever since. Big E comes into the pod, and most times when guys come in, they don't grit on people. They just kind of mind their business, kind of glimpse the room, look around at the cell numbers, figure out where their cell is. They stop at the control booth, tell them their name. They go over to, if they don't know their cell already, the guard will tell them, and they head to their cell. Big E comes in. Big E's coming from the hole. He just went by property, picked up his stuff. When you get locked up and sent to the hole, they take all your stuff and they put it in property so that nobody can steal it while you're gone. It doesn't just sit in your cell. Big E went by property, picked up all his food, all his belongings, and he comes in and he's got his bags over his shoulder. And a couple dudes know him. Most of us didn't know him. I think maybe two guys might have known him from doing time with him or being somewhere else in the prison with him. He comes in, instead of doing what most of us do, is just, you stay humble. You don't want to come in seeming like no badass. He comes in and he's just gritting. Like almost like you could picture Debo walking into a prison. He looks around, and what he's doing is he's sizing everybody up. Usually when you walk in, everybody's sizing you up. Everybody's trying to get a feel for you as soon as they see you. Is he gang? You know what I mean? Is he gang? Does he bang? Is dude gay? Like, what is this? What type of time is this dude on? This dude is sizing everybody else up, like looking around with one of those looks on his face, like, I wish a motherfucker would. Goes in his cell, and this is the crazy part. He was in a cell with an older black man, and this older black man had back problems and was on the bottom bunk. We hear him clear as day when he goes to the cell. Instead of just going in, the old man is sitting on the pod watching TV. They pop the cell door, he goes, he looks in, sees the stuff on the bottom bunk, looks around the pod. Yo, who lives in this cell? An old man still watching TV. When I say old, I don't mean like 80. This man's probably in his late 50s. He was probably late 30s, 40 at the oldest. Who lives in this cell? All the, convicts, inmates looking around at him. And we all looking at the old man sitting on the bench. So he says it again. This time he's like yelling. This dude ain't been in the pod a fresh 30 seconds. Who lives in the cell? Somebody goes over and taps the old man and is like, yo, dude right there is, I think he's asking for you, man. So he looks over his shoulder. He's watching TV. Looks over his shoulder back at his cell. Looks back at the TV. Picks his little stuff up. I think he had a cup of coffee sitting with him. He walks over to his cell and he tells him in front of everybody, hey, you the one on the bottom bunk. Dude's like, yeah. He's like, you need to move your shit to the top bunk. He was like, I got back problems. He said, I don't give a fuck about move your shit to the top bunk, man. Old man went in the cell, grabbed his mat, folded it up, pulled the ease mat down, put his mat on the top shelf, put his mat on. He told him, I like my stuff to be close to my bunk. So all that stuff you got sitting on the left side of the counter, you need to move to the right. This old dude ain't looking for no problems, man. And when I say old, it's not because of his age that he's old. It's because this dude's body was just wore down. Like he done lived a rough life. He's only in his 50s, but he looks like he's pushing, his late 60s. So he just got in here and he's already bullying this old man. He comes out, the phone is hanging, which means don't get on the phone. You wait. Walks over to the phone, picks the phone up, clicks the phone, make sure ain't nobody on it, and starts dialing. Dude comes out the cell like, yo, homeboy, I got the phone next. Very common thing, right? I had the phone next. He turns around, what? Looks at dude. Dude turns around, walks back in the cell. That's all he said was, what? And, I guess dude didn't want no smoke. The couple dudes that were in there that knew E didn't help the situation because they were telling like these horror stories of stuff he had done on the other side of the yard. How he had cracked dude's head wide open, had picked the dude up in the chow hall one time and slammed him and his head ricocheted off the seat. And then just, they're like, E don't care, man. Like the guards know E's a menace. The guards are scared of him. Like they're telling other people. So now this dude ain't even put hands on nobody yet, but these guys are spreading the word about him. So the fear factor has already kicked in. You got a lot of different people in there that don't even know E or what E's about. Pause. That are now scared of E based off of what these other dudes are saying. First time I seen E get physical, he said he had loaned a dude some stuff that went to the hole. I didn't never see E give anybody anything. Nobody talked to E. Nobody kicked it with E. So it didn't make sense on store day that he was going to try to collect some stuff from a dude that we all knew hadn't given him anything. And to make it worse, this dude that he was going to collect from when he was headed towards the dude's cell, I got locked up a couple of days prior for gunning. He was in the shower masturbating with the door cracked. The guard seen him, called the people, and they locked him up. Store day, he goes to dude's cell. He tries to play like he didn't know dude got locked up. He goes to dude's cell. He says, "Hey, what's up with your cellmate, man? Where's the commissary at?" And the dude's cellmate ain't got nothing to do with this. Dude was like, "What you mean?" He's like, "What you mean? What do I mean? Where's your cellmate at? Where's the commissary?" Like, he got locked up like 3 days ago. Everybody seen him get locked up. He was like, "Well, go ahead and run that back to me." He was like, "What do you mean, run it back?" He goes in the cell, chokes this man, slaps him. And when I mean slaps him to the point that after E came out the cell and dude came out, dude had the big ass handprint on his face with the whelp around where E's fingers had smacked him on his face. Instead of E taking the couple things that he claimed that the dude's cellmate owed him, E come out with all this dude stuff. Come out with his whole entire commissary bag, takes it down to his cell, puts it in, and then takes a second trip back down there to take other things just to take them. Like rummaging through this dude's cell with the dude sitting on the bed, like, you know what I mean, still holding his face, like, just I guess praying he don't hit him again, right? E would get into it with so many different dudes, and you might ask yourself, why were dudes allowing this to happen? Why weren't people stabbing him? Why weren't people doing this? I was telling somebody this yesterday, and I'm going to tell you this. When somebody gets to stabbing somebody, it's usually something personal, something that's got to do with them, something in that nature. Here in the state of Virginia, it's not like Cali. It's not like Florida. If you stab somebody, first thing they're going to do is they're going to put you in the hole. They're going to transfer you to a maximum security facility about 8 hours away from where you're at, somewhere way up in the mountains with a whole bunch of hillbillies and rednecks that are guards. You're going to be locked down 23-1 all day for a couple years before you're able to come down to another max level and work your way back down. So you're going to do at least 7 years on super maxes before you see a max. So that's why people weren't just stabbing E. Everybody's goal is to go home. They're going to give you more time. You stab E, you're going to court. The judge ain't trying to hear you stabbed and killed this dude over some commissary. The judge is going to charge you with first degree, second degree murder. You're going to turn whatever little bit of time you got into, or a lot of time you got into, until a whole lot more time. And now your ass is never going home because you let this dude get under your skin or you chose to poke him up. They cut smoking out in prison. And I've told people this before. When they cut smoking out, when they took cigarettes off the commissary and dudes could no longer smoke, they turned prison into a temporary war zone. Anyone that had tobacco that wasn't built like that, if you had cigarettes, I don't care if it was chewing tobacco, dip, regular tobacco, menthol, whatever, if you had tobacco products, as that stuff started running out, it became a big thing. Robbery was an everyday thing. We weren't even in the process of, they had stopped selling it. And the rule was you had until such and such date. You know, they stopped selling it the end of 2010. I think it was February 21st, if I remember right, was the last date that you could have any tobacco. You know, if you smoke it, got it. If you got it, smoke it. If you dip it. Whatever you're going to do, it better be gone by February 21st. We're going on lock after that. They're coming in, they're searching for it, and you better not have it. They sell ashtrays, lighters, any of that stuff, they would just confiscate. On the next shakedown, you would then get a serious charge. You know, possession of contraband, possession of tobacco, tobacco-related items. They have cut smoking out. They actually posted the memo. And we weren't even at the point yet to where they had stopped selling it. We still had, I think, a couple months before we stopped selling it. E decides he's going to buy as much tobacco as he can on commissary. And then he's going to just start taking people's shit until there's no more left. I told you in the beginning, people like E, they live off fear, they work off fear. Bullies typically know who they can go at. E was one of those dudes that Really, nobody in prison wanted no wreck with him. Dudes that tried him in the past and always failed. He was undefeated. He hadn't been beat. He was known for just fucking hurting these dudes bad. But at the same time, the bullies, bully is a bully for a reason because they pick on who they pick and choose their victims. He goes to another old man's cell, old white dude, sitting there. The old man never borrowed, never bothered, never did anything to anybody. He more or less, if you seen him, he was coming out, going to the microwave or the hot pot, making something to eat or getting some hot water to get some coffee. He was one of those guys. He'd go back and sit in the cell all day. He'd have his little earbuds in, watch his little TV, mind his business. All he did was sit in there and smoke cigarettes. He goes to the old man's cell. The old man is sitting on the bunk now watching his little TV. He goes in there and they sold these containers, these round containers of this tobacco called Midnight Special. He goes in there, pops the top off, the old man's tobacco, grabs his rolling papers, and the old man's sitting on the bed just looking at him like, the fuck? Reaches down in there, rolls himself a cigarette, lights a cigarette, and walks out the old man's cell. What he just did was he tested the waters. He tested to see, is this dude going to allow me to take something from him? Is he bitch? Is he pussy? What's he going to do? Old man don't say nothing. The man ain't trying to, get his arms and legs pulled off like a little spider. He just sits there. He finishes that cigarette about 20 minutes later, goes over to the old man's cell, picks the whole container up this time of tobacco, grabs the rolling papers, walks back out in the pod, sits down, and starts rolling cigarettes, smoking cigarettes. Old man comes to the door and looks around like, is anybody going to say anything? Everybody's just looking at him and looking at E like, you can tell for the most of us, it's one of the things where you're like, man, I really don't want to catch no fucking time behind this dude. That's not my people. I'm not getting involved. When I mean my people, my homeboys, me, my celly, anything like that. Regardless of your age, you got to be willing to fight for yourself. If people see you'll stand up for you, people will rally with you and stand behind you. But if you won't stand up for yourself, nobody else is going to fight your battle. This is prison. These are the politics. This is how it goes. Dudes would get so fed up with E in there that him being told on and people doing what we call dropping a slip, dropping a note. That's when somebody writes something to the guards. E is in here extorting people. He's stealing. He's robbing people. He slapped dude. They're dropping notes on E left and right to try to get E locked back in the hole, to get him out the pod. And it's to the point now, so many different dudes have done this sneaky shit that the guards aren't even paying attention to the letters no more. And the letters they find, the letters that people are dropping, the kites are dropping on E, they're just taking them and glancing at them, balling them up, throwing them in the trash because they're getting such a high volume of them, right? In the months to come, E would beat up a lot of different people. E would go in people's cells, take their food, disrespect guards. I'm talking about, I've seen him get in the guard's face and be like, do something. And the guard just like, could easily call for backup, but then there's the chance of the altercation. The guards are scared too. They would walk off. You just know when dealing with somebody like that they got a life sentence. No possible way this maniac can be getting out. Like I told y'all, E didn't have no friends. Big E just kicked it by himself. Who the fuck would want to be somebody's friend like that, right? Out of the blue one day, and this is crazy how this stuff happens. We hear him call Big E's name about 8:30 in the morning. Bag and bag. Means bag your shit up, you're going home. I'm blown. This dude is going home, and this is the type of shit he's doing. He was doing this the night before. The food he made the night before, he went and took from somebody out of their cell. That's how he ate, even though he had his own commissary. He walks, he gets his little stuff, and usually, like me, when I left prison, I left all that stuff behind. My TV, my CD player, my food. I just gave people that shit. I don't need this no more. I don't need honey buns and Snickers bars and ramen noodles and Dr. Peppers and all that bullshit. I'm going home. Y'all can keep this. All the little prison clothes, shoes, all the stuff I had in there. Hey, y'all can have this. I split that stuff between my homeboy. You think Big E did? Big E rolled out and took everything he owned with him. Everything he owned in prison home with him. He gets to the front of the pod, turns around, and like glimpses around the prison, and says, "Fuck all y'all," like on some gorilla shit, and he leaves. I didn't think that would be the last time I saw Big E. Not at all. There's no place in society for people like this dude. He's going to get out there. He's going to hurt somebody today. He's going to go back to that Debo on the block shit, taking people's chains, shaking down dope boys. He used to talk about how, oh, y'all think shit's sweet. I used to go down to projects and grab little motherfuckers like y'all and just take your motherfucker, snatch and rip your whole pants off you with all your drugs and money right in it. Y'all ain't got no pistols in here. Y'all don't scare me. I've been stabbed. I've been shot. This was that type of dude. That's the shit he would scream. So he straight said, "Fuck all y'all," and grits on everybody one last time. Just like that. He was gone. Told my homeboy, I said, that bitch will be back. Won't be long. He'll be back in here. You know what I mean? I never had no problems with him, but I didn't like him. I don't like a bully, period. You know what I mean? I'm not with that bully shit. I think it was maybe, I'm going to say maybe a month, man. Maybe 3 weeks. Maybe a little more. I used to get the Richmond Times-Dispatch, the newspaper. Every single day, I get the newspaper. And the way the newspaper goes is I get yesterday's newspaper today. Tomorrow, I'll get today's. I'll get it every single day. And I'm reading, through the newspaper because where they got me at, I'm in Emporia, Virginia. So, I get my local news channels and stuff, but to really see what's going on in Richmond, I need the newspaper. I read the obituaries. And I come across an article about a man that was killed in a car crash. A head-on collision. Hit by a drunk driver riding down the wrong side of the interstate. The person killed in the crash was Big E. All that shit he put people through. What he did to everybody else. Somehow he still got out of prison. Only to come home, be riding in a car, and be met head on by somebody that had been drinking and driving, that drove head first into his dumb ass and killed him. It goes to show you that you don't always have to take things into your hands. I've told y'all in past videos, God's got a plan. We didn't know what the plan was. I figured he was going to get out, somebody was going to shoot him in his face. I said, man, he's going to get out there, one of them young boys going to tear his whole top off. You know what I mean? The young boy's going to just, bang, pull the joint out and pop him in his face with it. Big E went to go on to be killed by a drunk driver in a head-on collision. Crazy, crazy things, man. So I just wanted to give that to y'all. This is Friday. Friday, payday, payday. For anybody listening, man, don't be a Big E. Don't be a bully. Don't pick on people because of your size. Don't pick on people because they're weaker than you or you're stronger than them. Don't take things from people. Just don't. Whether you believe in karma, whether you believe in God, you ain't got to believe in none of that. But I can promise you this. In life, what goes around comes around and comes back around. You do dirt, you get mud. That's just what it is. Nobody was sad to hear that Big E died. Maybe some of his family members. But dudes in there was hooting and hollering and happy. When I told people, I was like, yo, Big E died in a car crash. They was like, what? His ass should have died at birth. But yeah, I wanted to drop that for y'all, man. Think you're going to be a bully in prison. You might. But just remember, man, we all got to meet our maker one day. He definitely met his. It's crazy worlds, man. These prisons, these institutions, they're just crazier worlds inside this crazy world we already live in. And as always, y'all know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to keep y'all entertained. Are you not entertained? And as always, this is Jay Williams. Let's live life to all my real ones. And there are some real ones watching because y'all still watching me. Now we do, man. Salute.